The story of Krazy Joe was torn from yesterday's headlines, and it's as terrifying as tomorrow's.
Good morning. Welcome back to Krazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Krazy Joe, and we are taking a look at Paddington 2 on 4K disc. Paddington 2. This was a first-time watch for me. I had never seen Paddington 2 before. I saw Paddington 1 in the theater. I missed Paddington 2 in the theater. If you've been paying attention, Paddington 2 has been in the cultural conversation when it comes to film in recent years because it has been considered one of the greatest movies ever made. I'm not kidding. To those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, a couple of years ago, some people noticed that Paddington 2 had a perfect score of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, an achievement many other films did not have, including Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane, a film often considered to be the greatest film of all time, fell just under 100%, and Paddington had a perfect 100 when Citizen Kane didn't. This led to the question, is Paddington the greatest movie, Paddington 2, the greatest movie ever made? A lot of people think it may be. I think its tomato meter has since fallen. It is also like around a 98 or a 99 now. So in the time since that phenomenon happened, Paddington 2 did have a little bit of a fall. This conversation was continued in the popular Nicolas Cage film, The Massive Weight of Extraordinary Talent, which Nicolas Cage plays himself, and he teams up with Pedro Pascal, and Pedro Pascal's a film lover, and they have a conversation on what's the greatest movie ever made, and Pedro Pascal thinks it's Paddington 2. So this has been something going on in the zeitgeist lately. People have been discussing Paddington 2. So it was high time I saw it, especially with Paddington in Peru opening. And would I say this is the greatest movie ever made? No, but it's very good. It's extremely good. This is a great movie. And I don't know how I went all this time missing. I went about 5 years without watching this, 5 or 6 years, something like that. It was pre-pandemic, and it's really good. Now available from Warner Brothers on 4K disc for the first time ever. It was available on Blu-ray, DVD. It was not on 4K until now. Now you can pick up Paddington 2 wherever you get 4K discs. Maybe you want to catch up with it like I did so you could watch Paddington in Peru. In this particular story, Paddington is accused of a crime he didn't commit and goes to prison where he becomes friends with a bunch of hardened criminals, teaches them about, kindness and love and, just being a good citizen with his innate goodness. And then there's a jailbreak. I don't want to tell you too much. I don't want to give anything away, but it's really about Paddington inspiring people to be better. That's the gist of the movie. Hugh Grant is in here as a unscrupulous actor who frames Paddington for the crime he's committed of. Hugh Grant is a delicious villain in this film. I don't know if you're a Hugh Grant fan, but Hugh Grant's or at least he was. I think people are getting on board with Hugh Grant now, but I remember back in the 90s, Hugh Grant was a little divisive. You either loved him or hated him. I knew some people who really hated him back in the day, but he's a very good villain in it. He's quite good in this. This is a great movie. This is really, really good. And I won't say that I think it's the greatest movie of all time, but I'll say this. I can't really argue against it if you do. Like, that's how good it is. If you think this is one of the greatest movies ever made, I can't really argue against you. So, available now on 4K. The disc looks great. The quality is terrific. Unfortunately, it's fairly bare bones. There are a few special features, such as like Paddington with the Browns, which gets behind the scenes of his relationship with the Brown family. There's a featurette on here called The Story of Knuckles, which tells about one of the criminals he befriends, gets into their backstory. Oddly enough, this disc does not list the special features on the packaging. It's not listed on the packaging, but trust me when I say they are there. I watched them. And all you get is movie and 4K disc. That is it. There is no digital code. There is no Blu-ray version. Just the film on 4K. This is available now wherever you get your physical media through Warner Brothers. It was sent to me by our friends at Warner Brothers for review, and I want to thank Warner Brothers. Yeah, this movie, it lives up to the hype. It's really good. So if you haven't seen Paddington 2, maybe you want to check this one out. And Paddington 3 is in theaters now. So what perfect time. You get this, you go see Paddington 3. Interesting thing, all 3 Paddington movies were distributed by a different company. The original Paddington was put out by the Weinstein Company for understandable reasons. The Weinstein Company doesn't exist anymore. I think we all know why. So Paddington 2, which was going to be distributed by the Weinsteins, was sold to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers ended up distributing the second one. And now the most recent one, Paddington in Peru, is distributed by Sony. So you have this trilogy of films, each one under a different distributor. So that's interesting, to say the least. I wonder if we'll be able to get a Blu-ray box set of all 3 films, because it's going to require some collaboration between various studios to make that happen, but maybe it will. All right, thank you to Warner Brothers for sending me this. Until next time, everybody, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you meet.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the back door flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open it, it's a trap.
Oh no,
It's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
And now the song is done.